I'm Kat.
And I'm Hayley.
And this is Night Classy.
A tipsy night class teaching the oddities and curiosities you never learned in school.
What are we drinking for this learning journey, Hayley?
Wine, of course.
Duh.
Halloween is over. We're crying about it. So obviously we're gonna be sad and drink wine.
Wine is for crying. And I have a Pinot Noir. What do you have?
I have a dark Malbec from Argentina.
It's in a Halloween-y box.
It is. I'm trying to still celebrate as much as I can in any way possible.
Did you celebrate on actual Halloween?
No, I don't think I did.
Did you do anything? Did you watch a spooky movie?
The scariest thing, I think, was not celebrating at all. Maybe having more of the car windows busted at the gym.
That's true. It was scary in real life.
That was that's like adult scary.
Yeah.
And I rolled all of my windows down because if you're listening right now and you don't know, my car windows got busted last week, and then I went to the gym this week and there were already cops there because more windows got busted at the gym. So I've been doing what I call the Jawa method from Jawa Horn, who came and taught us a lesson about raising a child without a village. That's on Patreon. And his method is to just keep his windows down all the time. So
yeah,
that
my mom...
Does he really?
Yeah. It's smart. My mom leaves her car doors unlocked all the time so that no one steals anything. But then a murderer could climb in your back seat and be waiting for you. And it's like, what would you rather have? Your windows to get smashed or get murdered?
I feel like I checked my back seat.
What if they're hiding? I don't know. What if you have a bunch of shit in your back seat and they're hiding under a coat or a McDonald's bag?
Well, leaving your car unlocked or windows down, you should just not leave anything in your car if you're going to do that method.
That's true. But what if it's something no one wants to steal, like bags of clothes you need to take to Goodwill?
You shouldn't leave anything because people
could, if garbage.
You would be like hiding something underneath it. Like if you're going to be smart, don't be dumb, you know?
I guess. Okay. Listen, I'm dumb, though. I will never stop locking my car door.
You can't leave yours unlocked because yours is highly hijackable.
That's true. I did buy a steering wheel lock, but I still haven't gotten my window replaced like a month later. Honestly, I'm just procrastinating having to make a phone call.
Well, there's so many cars with their windows busted out in Memphis now that it's
That's true. I just want to fit in.
Yeah, if the listeners are confused, both of the hosts have had one window shattered in their cars within the past month.
It's weird.
It's fine.
People say we look alike, we sound alike. We're wearing like the same colored top and bottoms today.
And sneakers. I think we're just completely mind melded. When you have a podcast with someone, you stare into their eyes
for so long.
Like, this is not how I talk to normal people. But
Absolutely not.
I have to be so focused on what you're saying that I think our minds are now connected.
Can you imagine if somebody who didn't know us, you're listening right now, you may have never met us, maybe you haven't talked to us on Patreon, like the cocktail hours. If you guys saw us interact in real life, you'd be like, wait, are they even friends? But it's just much more casual. We're on, for the podcast.
Yeah.
We're looking into each other's souls.
And I think once you interact with someone like that, your brains are one.
We're connected.
They're holding hands metaphorically through our foreheads.
Two half brains make a whole.
Oh my God, it's so cute. We didn't do anything for Halloween either, though. Georgia has a Halloween dress, and so we put that on her and pretended she was a child and just walked her around the other trick-or-treaters. We didn't get any candy.
To your child.
Yeah.
One of your children. By the way, how's
One
Duke?
of my many. He's good. He's He's just being a horse.
Yeah, if you're out of the loop, Kat bought a horse last week.
Yeah.
An entire horse.
Yeah, it's true.
Did you look in its mouth?
No, because he's a gift horse. I can't look in his mouth.
So all the animals are doing good. Wonderful to hear.
Yeah, they're all doing fine. Your cats are good.
The cats are good. Everything's good. I finally had to put to rest the conversation about a third cat.
Really?
Did I tell you about this?
No.
I was like joking with Tommy about it after you guys left from Bachelor in Paradise. And it actually got kind of serious. What? He was like actually upset. And I could tell that if I kept bringing it up, then it was going to cause real issues.
Jeez, he's like, I don't want to end up like Kat and Alex, so stop pushing this.
He's like, she just bought a horse, for God's sake.
It starts with cats, and then it escalates to a dog, and then before you know it, you have a fucking horse.
Yeah, so if anything, I'm just going to need you to get a cat for me.
No,
And then
that's not going to
it'll just
happen.
stay at your house.
Except my mom did send me a picture. There's a cat up for adoption in Washington State right now, and his name is Streaker, and he's a naked cat.
Oh, no.
He has no fur.
I could not do a naked cat.
you
They're not for
couldn't?
me. No, I don't think so.
I love them.
Then
I want one
there you
so
go.
bad, but I can't have it.
Travel to
because I
Seattle.
already have a million pets.
For a streaker, you have 4. You have a long way to go, girlfriend.
That's true. Maybe I could get him.
I think it would be a problem after you had like 20.
Yeah, we do live in a small apartment, but
That
it is
reminds me-
2-bedroom.
That reminds me, Tommy got mad. He was like, Hayley, I looked up the amount of square footage that cats have to have, like for them to be like healthy and happy. And he's like, our max is 2.
Oh my god! I mean, he's probably right.
I
He's
know.
probably right.
It just
what's-
made me sad.
But what's worse, the cat living out in the cold on the streets? Or
That's
it's
what
sharing
I'm
a space.
saying.
And you could make vertical space for it, put some shelves on the walls. You could
Now
double
we're talking.
the space for activities.
So now I can just talk to you about my third cat need, and not Tommy.
You could get a cat and board it somewhere besides your house, like Duke.
Do I look like I'm made of money? That's what I tried to do. I'm trying to board it at your house.
No. That's not going to happen. I mean, maybe you could pay me.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about it after the show.
Okay. Well, let's hash that
Right.
out.
You're like, how much does it cost to feed Duke per month? This much. This much is how much you can pay me.
I'm going to have the Tommy breakdown if we have to foster the cat. So just know that's coming.
I don't think you would break down. Alec stops for stray animals faster than anyone I've ever seen in my life. He was ready to rescue a drain kitten the other day.
That was a pit bull.
There was a drain.
There was also a pit bull that he was about to rescue. It wasn't like really in the drain. It like came out of like the drainage ditch.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even
sad.
really a kitten. It was like a young cat. They're
Alex
everywhere in our neighborhood.
Driving
we can't
along
save
the
them all.
road, see something like shuffling. The bushes just move barely. He's like, skirt.
Literally, yeah, any stray animal we see, which is great. I appreciate it. But now I have to just pretend I don't see them because I'll end up with 1,000 animals.
But I'm not saying I want to keep him. I'm saying I want to take him to the shelter.
The shelter won't take them.
The shelter's hands are full. They have like 250
Yeah.
chickens.
When you bring, it's true. When you bring an animal to the Memphis Animal Shelter, they put you on a wait list to even take the animal, banking on the fact that you're going to have the animal in your home for months and you're never going to bring it to the shelter.
Which is how we had a possibly rabid cat in our roommate's bathroom for several days.
Yeah,
a couple of years
that's true.
ago.
That's true. They told us animal control was coming and they took their time. It's a whole thing.
I have no idea how we even started talking about this, but
I
we
don't
have
even know what
lot
we're
of
talking about.
Fucking animals in our lives.
There's so many animals. Do you want to do some quick plugs and then just get
Let's get into
started?
it. Yeah.
All right. So I think my only plug question mark is that we're now doing another thing on Patreon. We talked about it a little bit last week, but we have a segment now called Extra Credit where we kind of just continue our conversations after the show and each share one thing that we learned that week. And that will be available to every tier on Patreon. There will be one coming out every single week. So if you want to hear more of this kind of bullshit, that's where it'll be.
That's just for you. I think my plan is to just try and regurgitate your lesson back to you each week.
No, you have to come up with something.
I am really excited for my one this week, actually.
Really?
I learned it on TikTok, and I remembered that I learned it today. So now I feel like I have a good excuse to go on TikTok and it be a productive
That's
thing.
true.
You know? 'Cause
That's
you learn so
true.
much.
I need to do that because my thing, again, is something that I don't think will be interesting to anyone else but me. But it's what I learned this week, so I'm gonna share it. And I think that's it.
Well,
me.
we also have cocktail hour on Friday, November 4th, which is tomorrow. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, then it's tomorrow. But if you're listening to it the day after that, then it's today. And then if you're listening to it any other time other than that, that's okay. We have cocktail hour live for an hour. We get on Patreon. We send a Zoom link to our patrons at that level and we hang out. We have special drinks. If you want to bring a beverage, you can bring that. You can bring something else. You can bring water. Do what you want to do, but we just hang out and have fun. This week we're drinking wine, so maybe we can get like wine drunk and cry together.
I am not down for the crying. If you cry, I'm going to go home. But it will be wine. And I will, by the time this comes out, I will have posted my special recipe for mulled wine. So you can make that and drink along with us. It's super easy to make. Or just drink regular wine. Or like Hayley said, drink whatever makes you happy. We're excited to see you all.
Or that makes you cry. I'm really down to have a cry fest with you all.
I hate crying and I hate when people cry in front of me, so I will not participate in that. But maybe Hayley will volunteer to stay like later on the Zoom after I log off and you guys can cry together. But that is not for me.
We can have a therapy session all together.
I will not be there for that.
I remember in college there was one night where everyone in the dorm just, did what young college students do with beverages, and we were of age, by the way. We were all
in the dorm. You were 21 in the dorm.
All over 21 in the dorm.
Hell?
Yes, it's true.
Okay.
Anyway, we were all feeling great. And then everyone basically just like trauma dumped on each other. And we were all super sad. And now I know so many dark things about the people that I was in the dorms with.
What's the darkest thing someone told you?
Oh my God. I don't even want to say it.
Say it.
So basically, that took very little convincing.
Just say it. Okay.
Essentially, I'm going to leave out some details, but basically this girl found out that her dad was like cheating on her mom in this really fucked up way and never told her mom, something like that. The details are murky.
So she was like keeping it a secret from her mom.
Yeah, but also
That's
she
tough.
was like, fuck my dad, but also like, I don't know what to do.
But like doesn't want to like be the bearer of bad news and possibly destroy her family over something her dad did. Yeah, that is dark. That's a tough situation.
It was tough. Yeah. I don't think I can remember it anymore. So maybe there are darker ones. Like I said,
that you like blocked out.
For so many reasons. Blacked out. Who's
all
to say?
The be out. All the bouts.
I'm going to butt my way onto our learning journey.
Right. I blew a .000.
I blew .013. I win.
Yes. She's going first.
All right. We're going to start by talking about the origins of ice sculpting.
What?
It's true. Okay. If you can believe it, the origins of ice sculpting are
Sculpting.
Ice scalping.
Sculpting. Yeah, there's no
flash
T.
flinging. Hash slinging.
I'm so sorry.
Flinging, ice sculpting. The history is murky, but we know it's been around for a really long time. Around 4,000 years ago, early Inuits built homes, also known as igloos, from ice and snow, and written records from as early as 600 BC. Time is crazy, right? Gonna get a
so we started on 4,000 BC.
I'm just listing
and
things. This
BC.
is not chronological error. This is just like random ice facts from history, if you will.
Gotcha.
I can rearrange
love
it if you need
a random
it.
ice fact. No, my stupid brain went, is this 4,000 AD or BC? And then I realized how dumb I am.
I turned the ice sculpting lesson into time travel.
Yeah.
So anyway, 600 BC, written record tells us about farmers in what is now northwest China flooding their fields with water, and then it would freeze. It was cold enough for it to freeze, or they would wait for it to freeze, and then they would cut blocks of ice because they had also put in like fresh fish that they had frozen, or the fish were just already in the water, and they would insulate them to preserve things like seafood and other food.
Imagine wanting to cook dinner and you have to go like with your ice pick and hack a fish out of a block of ice.
I can barely heat things up some days.
Yeah. Sometimes the
depression
microwave
meal is too hard sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to like remember to like stir it halfway through the microwave cycle. I can't imagine.
I threw a low-key fit, not actually, but I was inconvenienced because I had to flip like sausage patties halfway through this morning. I was like, God, I'm gonna be late to work.
That's hard in the morning. I eat string cheese every morning because I can't bear to wake up and make breakfast.
I did not know that about you.
It's true. I either eat string cheese, or if I run out of string cheese or I forget, then I just eat whatever snacks I bought for the kids in my classroom. So like Pringles and Goldfish crackers at 7 a.m.
I have to have a hot breakfast to start my day. If not, then it's going to be a terrible day. And if it's not hot, then I'll have like a midday Greek yogurt type situation.
Yeah, I just can't really. I hate breakfast food.
Yeah.
So it's hard
Sorry
to get the
hear
motivation.
that. Yikes. You're like a sociopath.
I know.
That's crazy.
But I hate eggs and I hate anything sweet. And so that's most breakfast food.
I treated myself this week and got Eggos. I feel like
Gross.
Eggos are a good in between because they're not sweet.
But you put syrup and shit on them.
Oh, I just do like butter. You can put some
Really?
like
On the
peanut
Eggo?
butter. Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're a different breed. Sorry about it.
It's okay.
All right. And I think you covered this next fact in one of your lessons. People in ancient Rome and India who ate and drank ice mixed with fruit juices as the precursor to sorbet/ice cream.
Yeah.
And in this, I was about to be really embarrassed if you didn't cover that in one of
No,
your
that was in my
lessons.
ice cream lesson.
Yeah, I thought that you covered it, but I also didn't care enough to see if that was what you had covered. So.
It's funny how I never thought we'd get to this point, but now whenever I pick a topic, a lot of times I'm like, have we covered that?
Yeah, because we could definitely not know.
Yeah, we have enough that we could not know.
We're big league.
Yeah, we've just been, I don't know why we've done it for so long, but we have. We like it.
Wow, that hurt me a little bit.
No.
I don't know why we've done it for so long.
It's just like we've done it every week for like 3 years. That's a lot. I've never done anything that much.
I think I might go crazy. Night classy might be the thing that's holding me on, like by a thread.
Yeah.
Holding me on. That doesn't even make sense. That sentence doesn't make sense.
For a while, like during the pandemic, I was like, if I didn't have night classy, I wouldn't do anything and I'd have no hobbies. But now I do a lot and I have a lot of hobbies.
Look at
My
you,
life is
and it
very
all
full.
started with night classy.
And now I'm still going to do night classy. I promise I won't abandon
Okay.
the boat.
I'm going to hold you to that, even though
because I
you
want to
don't
be here. I like it.
You don't know why you're doing it.
No, I do know why I'm doing it. I was just saying we have
don't know
never
how?
stuck with anything this consistently for this long. So I don't know. I didn't see this for myself. Let's just say
Oh
that.
my God, so negative today.
No. Listen, I am negative today. It's Tuesday. I wish it were
Tuesdays are
Friday.
the actual worst.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I
it's
hate
true.
Tuesdays.
Jesus.
Anyway, in the 1600s, Chinese fishermen also started sculpting lanterns from ice.
That's cool.
Pretty cool. And then today, there's also a long time running World Ice Art Championship taking place in Alaska. And these amazing artists gather and they sculpt ice. And it's a whole thing. So,
I want to go to Alaska so bad. I feel like a bunch of cool stuff happens there.
me too. And then my true crime brain thinks about all of the human trafficking and all of that.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm like, do I want to go to Alaska?
There's a lot of
Maybe an
human
Alaskan-
trafficking in Alaska.
Or what was it? There's a lot of crime in Alaska.
I
don't
know
think
they're like
it's,
really high in drug use and
Yeah.
like substance abuse.
I'm going for the whales. I'll stay out of the substance abuse.
Go for the whales, stay for the huskies, sleds, leave for the substance abuse.
Iditarod.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we tried to do the Iditarod?
If we
Georgia
just,
could
like-
lead the pack.
Oh my God, strapped our cats, Georgia. Duke could probably like hang in there. I think he could carry the team a little bit.
Duke definitely could. We'd have to who would be the slowest cat? Because you have to put them in front.
Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie would not give a shit.
No, he would be the one getting dragged behind the sled.
It's so cold.
Why would you do this to me? Ghost would be the one like sitting in the sled, controlling the rudders.
Yeah,
Ernie would just be getting dragged behind.
Ghost would be leading us. Safety would just be freaking out. The whole
his
time.
eyes would be huge and his legs would be moving like a million miles a minute.
And Girly, I don't know what she'd be doing. She'd be like blending in with the snow.
Yeah, I see her just being good at it, just trotting along.
All right. So anyway, today's learning journey, we're going to learn about the pettiest ice-related tiny little bit of history.
Ooh, okay.
It all begins with Anna of Russia. She was the fourth daughter born in Moscow to the Tsar Ivan I. And at that point in his life, he was apparently checked out emotionally and mentally. He would just sit there idly for hours at a time. He only really performed ceremonial duties. And to me, when I'm reading what I read about him, it sounds like there was maybe some brain damage, a developmental delay, or just something
like
of the
severe
sorts.
depression.
Or severe depression. Like there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's clearly something wrong.
Which king was this?
Ivan the First.
Got it.
And because of that, he got nicknamed Ivan the Ignorant.
Oh, no.
So basically what I'm saying is I don't think he was ignorant. I think that there was just actually something wrong. But, you know, I feel like in the 1600s, if you were anything but normal, I put in quotations, then...
and they had to alliterate. What other I word can you think of that's more appropriate?
I don't know. I'm bad at thinking on my feet.
The ignorer. He ignores everyone.
Ivan the idler.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause he's
Ivan the
just-
idol.
Okay, there
that's
we
pretty
go.
good.
That's
hey,
way
we
better.
fixed it.
So Ivan the idol was her dad. Her mom did not write down her name, but apparently she was just very stern and mean with her children. And all of the power really belonged to Ivan's younger brother, Peter the Great. So... unfortunately, Anna did not get a ton of time with her father before he died. She was just 3 years old. And growing up was not easy for her for several reasons. She was mocked for her thick physique, and she had a, quote, mean, obstinate, and grim personality.
Oh, no. I mean, it sounds like she had probably inherited some of that from her parents.
I
Sounds
think
genetic.
so. It's only because, you know, she it's what she knew.
Yeah.
Nature and nurture, but mostly nurture, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she also got a nickname, Ivanna the Terrible, because her first name was Anna and her last name was Ivanovna. So Ivanna the Terrible.
Okay.
When she was 17, she was married off to some, quote, lowly backwater duke.
What the fuck?
Frederick William, Duke of Latvia.
Ooh.
And after that, Anna was essentially forgotten about by her family and the public. She was okay with it, though, because she was really excited to marry this guy. She even wrote to him, quote, I cannot but assure your highness that nothing could delight me more than to hear of your declaration of love to me.
Okay. Okay. So she was into it.
She's into it, but she's also like, but are you into me? She says, for my part, I assure your highness that I share your feelings. So she's just like, I'm going to assume, since we're writing letters, you know, this is before the marriage, I'm going to assume that you're into me.
Or she was like, however you feel about me, same. Like, if you think I'm ugly and you hate me, then I think you're ugly and I hate you.
If you're mad at me, then I'm mad at you.
Exactly.
For being mad at me.
It only makes sense.
And she says, at our next happy meeting, to which I look forward eagerly, I shall, God willing, avail myself of the opportunity of expressing them to you personally.
Ooh.
So she's like basically tonguing him in this letter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were married in this super over-the-top ceremony. Fun fact, and I don't know how to interpret this next part. Her uncle, while they're getting married in Latvia, her uncle had to stay back in like Moscow. And all these sources say was that her uncle held a mock ceremony back in Russia using two little people. And I don't know if
Okay.
that means dolls or people.
I think it means
But dolls.
people.
You think, but why do they have to be little people?
I think it like. Do you remember that? This is giving me Game of Thrones when Joffrey like mocked Peter Dinklage with like the like
He like
the little
reenacted a
people.
play.
Yeah, with like in the show they called them dwarves.
Is Peter the really skinny guy?
No, Tyrion.
Okay.
Peter Dinklage is the actor's name. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But it sounds like a court jester kind of thing. Like maybe he was mocking
yeah,
his niece because she thought she was terrible
I guess
and married her to a backwater duke.
Everyone did not like her. So holding that mock cemetery so they could fake attend it was really backhanded.
Yeah, it's what it sounds like.
Unfortunately, this backwater duke died shortly after the wedding, leaving Anna lonely in a foreign land. It's also rumored that he died shortly after because he challenged the Tsar to a drinking contest and
Wait.
drank so much that
He died
of alcohol poisoning.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's one thing to like get, so drunk on your wedding night that you are hungover the next day.
Yeah. Wait, this was on his wedding night?
I don't think it was on his wedding night,
And
but
he
it was
challenged
like
the Tsar?
shortly
Like
after.
he challenged Peter the Great to a drinking match?
No, the Tsar of Latvia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some backwater Tsar.
Wow. They were probably, I mean, I assume they're drinking vodka, but do we know for sure what they were drinking?
I would assume vodka as well.
Yeah.
We're in Russia.
Yeah, that's true.
What else are they going to
Dang.
drink? Wine.
Hell no.
They had to stay warm somehow. So anyway, because of that, she became the ruler of Latvia. Somehow it worked out that she
Of the
got
whole
the throne
country?
of the whole country.
What?
Yeah,
But-
yeah, I know it was some backwater duke, but he was like next
And
in
he was
line.
next?
Yeah.
Did the Tsar die too when in the drinking contest?
Something happened. I don't know if he died or if he got ill, but that next year, when she was 18 years old, she became the ruler of Latvia.
Jeez. Well,
I
good
know.
for her.
Good for her, but also scary.
No, she can do it. I have
Hell
confidence.
no. You know, she has the proper background. She was bullied. She'll make a good ruler.
I think so.
Yeah.
And she's really good at writing love letters, which
That's
is
the
what you
most
need in a
important
ruler.
thing. She ruled for 20 years, but she was really sad because she had just gotten married and then almost immediately got widowed, and she did not want to be alone. So she wrote to her family back in Moscow over 300 letters asking them to set her up with someone and arrange a marriage. But
She's the freaking queen of Latvia. Arrange your own marriage.
they did not like her at all. Also, her family was like, "You're not our problem anymore," and they ignored her / forgot about her.
Okay, that's fucked up. But also, like, she's the what do you call a woman czar? A czaress,
Empress, a
An empress.
czarista.
She's the
That's
empress.
probably not
She's
right.
the czarista. She's just making coffee in Latvia. No, but she could marry anyone in Latvia, probably, right? Like she could have her pick.
Yeah, but she didn't. Do you
That's
want
her-
just
that's her
anyone in
own fault.
Latvia?
Yeah.
If the Duke is referred to as a backwater, what was the
She
other
was
thing?
happy to marry him, though. I'm sure there's another guy there that.
I think she was just happy to have someone who wanted to marry her that agreed to the arranged marriage.
And now she's the freaking empress. She can marry anyone wants to marry her.
She really came into her own. This all builds character. So she never gets set up with anyone. Spoiler alert. And they essentially, like I said, they forgot about her and just left her to her own devices for decades until her existence became advantageous to the Russian court. When the Russian emperor died, the noblemen wanted to replace him with a puppet, somebody that they could manipulate to do whatever they wanted them to do. And they remembered Anna was out there in Latvia being a woman, being easily manipulatable. So they asked her to come and be the empress, the Tsarista of Russia. And she was more than happy to come back to her home and serve as their leader. They anticipated she would be easy to control, but there were conditions that the noblemen thought up, wrote up, and they cleverly named them the conditions. Anna had to sign these conditions on the dotted line to make it all official, which she did. And the thing was that they didn't anticipate her having a backbone at all, and she quickly proved them wrong. Only a few months into her time as Tsarista, Anna ends up wooing several noblemen and local guards, kind of starts getting people to like her and declare their loyalty to her.
Did they just assume she'd be a doormat because she was a woman?
Yes, of course.
They knew she was headstrong, though, from when she was a kid. This is their mistake.
Here's the thing, though, about dumb people.
It's true.
And misogynistic people.
Yeah, that's true. They fucked around.
They're about to find out. So it gets to the point that Anna's feeling comfortable and decides then was the perfect moment to do the absolute most. She tears this paper, the conditions, in half in front of the court and declares that she will rule the way she wants to rule.
Do we know what any of the conditions were?
Yeah, you can actually still go see the document in St. Petersburg today. It's torn.
Ripped in half?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did not even think to look up the conditions, though. Probably something like, thou shall look pretty. Thou shall be seen.
I would imagine it's like stuff about how she has to like listen to her advisors and never fire them and
and just go along with everything that they propose. Yeah. Well, that did not last. She took power in 1730, and after she tore up the conditions, she not only dismissed the council, but she also killed and or exiled those who opposed her.
Yeah, how do you think you can put conditions on the leader of your massive country? Yeah.
Probably just because she's a woman. I mean, it's 1730.
Yeah, they learned.
It seems pretty bleak.
Yeah.
So 10 years later, time goes by. Things are going strong still for Anna. A lot of things are going on. The Russian Academy of Science is fully funded. She's encouraging Westernization. She also founded the Cadet Corps, a fancy military school. She maintained a brutal secret police known as the Secret Office of Investigation. And I'm like, is this the KGB? Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It seems like maybe it could be a precursor to the KGB. There were military victories over the Ottomans for Anna, and she herself also really enjoyed firearms and shooting things, so much so that she was known to keep loaded guns on windowsills all around her palace, though, so that she could easily shoot any passing seagulls, crows,
It's like me and my chopstick. I have a chopstick in every room.
Yeah,
but she has a gun for shooting seagulls.
She was definitely a conservative. She started to itch anytime her gun was not near her.
That is so nuts. And it shot real bullets. She's just shooting out of her open windows at birds.
Yeah, she had nothing better to do. She had that shit on lock, clearly.
She's like Ernie when he sees a fly.
She's after it.
Yeah.
I killed a wasp yesterday after our cats were... You always know when they're hunting something because they're like working together and looking so intently. But I killed a wasp.
What is a wasp doing in October?
It was moving very slowly. It was dying.
Gotcha.
But Safdie has been known to try and eat wasps. And it's so cute. It happened one time and I never wanted it to happen again, but it was so cute when his little snout was like puffed up, just slightly because he ate a wasp. I don't even think he ate it. He just got stung by it. So there's that.
He didn't learn his lesson.
No, and he probably never will.
No,
that's
they don't
okay
learn.
though. He's a sweet baby. You know, your brain is only so big when you're a cat.
It's the size of a wasp.
Apparently. All right. So, like any royalty, Anna had a court full full of fools and jesters. One of them was actually a former prince. Well, he's still a prince, but a prince and former lieutenant, Prince Mikhail Golitsyn. Prince Mikhail was married to a Catholic Italian woman, which was not good for him because Catholicism was, quote, a bit of a sore spot after a Polish pretender to the throne, false Dmitry I, converted to the religion and shunned the Russian Orthodox Church.
Okay.
So after that, they're like, fuck Catholicism.
No Catholics. Is that why they made him be a fool?
Yes. Well, actually, no, but well, yes, because he married a Catholic woman. Yes.
And his name was False Dimitri?
Yeah, that's what he goes by.
Very funny.
Well, now he does. I looked it up, and yeah, if you Google him, I shut the Wikipedia page. But yes, that is what he was
Such
referred
a fun,
to.
funny prefix.
It's a burn.
It is a burn. Poor guy will always be remembered in history as a false Dimitri. The people revolted against him. They literally killed him and shot his remains from a cannon.
What? I thought he was in the palace being a jester.
No, that was Prince Mikhail.
Oh.
This is Dmitri is why they hated Catholicism.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes. And anywho, so they shoot his remains from a cannon. Really dramatic. They point the cannon towards Poland to send the message that like he needs to go back there and that they do not like Catholicism. So very dramatic. And when Prince Mikhail married his Catholic bride, Anna demoted him from lieutenant to jester in her court for that reason. So he's getting punished for that. And I have two thoughts on this. A, that sounds very Catholic of you, Anna. And B, it kind of sounds like jealousy to me.
Jealousy? Why?
That the prince married this girl? I don't know. It just came off
if
as
they
jealous.
hate Catholics so much, they're putting them in cannons and shooting them out of the cannons.
Yeah, I
Was
just
she
like imagining a little bit of drama and knowing her personality.
Do you know something I don't? Were they in a relationship?
No, I just wanted to know your thoughts.
I mean, to me, it sounds pretty typical. It's like they were killing each other over being the wrong sect of Christianity back then. He got off easy.
I guess so. Oh, well. This poor man, his wife died shortly after the wedding as well. So Anna made the prince jester Mikhail do things as a jester, like dress as a chicken. He had to sit on a pile of eggs and cluck like a chicken.
Honestly, this sounds way easier than being a prince or whatever he was before. So I'd take it.
Okay. I would say you can come sit on some of my eggs or something, but that would not be productive. Sorry.
I don't know how. I don't know what you're asking from me.
Nothing. I'm just trying to make conversation.
Sit on your eggs. Okay. I mean, if you really want me to sit on your eggs, just tell me when and where. I'll do that for you.
Looking back, though, Prince Mikhail was probably preferring sitting on eggs over this next part here. So in 1739, Anna ordered the construction of a very special palace. This palace was being built in the name of the Russian victory over the Ottomans, and she had a special event in mind for her special palace. It would be the wedding venue for Prince Mikhail and a woman that she chose to arrange him with named Avdotia Busheninova.
Okay.
The verdict is still out exactly on who this woman was. Some say that she was Anna's servant and that she was this decrepit old woman. One source, actually several sources, and this is so rude, say that Avdotia's ugliness frightened even the priest. So really mean.
That is really mean.
Other sources are like, she was just a normal young woman. Probably just a normal young woman, but for the sake of drama, some sources say that she was homely. So either way, the story goes that Avdotia was lamenting over her singledom and saying that life without a husband was like a hard frost. And this is when Anna got the idea to construct an ice palace.
Ooh,
This ice palace was massive. I have a picture of an ice palace that was built in Canada. This ice palace from the 1700s is larger than. It stood, other picture.
Is the palace for those two to live in after they get married?
No, it's just for their wedding day.
And then they're going to demolish it?
I don't know what happened. I think it probably melted eventually.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It stood 66 feet tall and was 165 feet long. They constructed it out of ice blocks pulled from the surface of the Neva River. And according to a Russian mathematician, George Wolfgang Kraft, it was built according to all the rules of the most current architecture. So it was really grand. It really just looks like a castle, but it was made entirely of ice.
Yeah. How do you get the ice blocks to stick together? Do you put nails in them?
No, I think that would break it. You can usually just put some water
and let
on
it freeze
ice and let it freeze back over.
Dang, that is nuts. Yeah, this is like a huge castle. Did it have multiple floors?
I don't know about multiple floors. I would assume so since it was so tall.
Yeah.
I have no idea how long it took, but it seems like it did not take too long, like not years.
Imagine going up the stairs.
You would slip and die.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You have to wear snowshoes just to walk inside. And everything inside of it was made of ice. Okay, like the windows, the furniture, the tables, the doors. There were playing cards made of ice.
So presumably she hates this guy, right?
Yeah.
And she's having him marry like her servant, like someone she views as below her to embarrass him.
Yes.
Is the ice castle supposed to be a joke, or did she just want like an excuse? Like, are they like her dolls? Is she making them a dollhouse? Like, why go through all this trouble for people that she doesn't like?
That's why I'm saying I feel like she's jealous, because she's just doing the most.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like she's going out and having everyone who's associated with a Catholic in Russia be exiled or something.
Yeah.
I think she
like
has
it's
a
a
thing
personal
for this
attack.
guy or something like that.
I don't know what, because if she had a thing for him though, and now he's single, don't you think she'd have an affair with him?
She's mentally ill.
I don't know.
I have no clue, but she was known to be very, very cruel. I think maybe she even got some pleasure from being cruel.
I
to
mean,
people.
yeah, like she's being cruel to them. She clearly hates them, but like the ice castle seems like a nice thing to do. I want to get married in an ice castle.
Well, just wait.
Okay.
All of the ice was elaborately painted as well to resemble the real things as close as possible. She ordered an exact replica of her own bed chamber, including a bed with an ice canopy, ice pillows, and ice sheets. There was an extensive garden adorning the halls, all of it painstakingly carved from ice. Ice bushes and trees were painted green and topped off with ice birds. This palace also needed a bania, aka a steam bath. There was an ice dolphin that blew fire.
What?
Yes.
How?
It sounds so cool, right? It was just like a gas lantern, I think. So probably not as cool.
Did it not
probably
melt?
took some fans.
Yeah.
It probably did melt. There was a life-size ice elephant with its trunk served double duty. During the daytime, it was a fountain. It was like hollow on the inside, and they would pour water out of it.
What?
And then by night, it was a torch. It would be like a gas lantern in there.
Is this real?
This is real. What
the hell?
I know. Anna ordered every Russian province to send a man and a woman in their native garb to represent each national group and take part in the wedding festivities. So on the day of the wedding, about 600 indigenous Russian representatives created a parade of sorts through the streets. They rode on sleds pulled by pigs, moose, camels, and wild boars. And the soon-to-be newlyweds were at the end of this procession in a cage. According to some sources, they were dressed as clowns.
Oh my God. So this was all a big joke
Yes.
to her.
Yes.
Okay.
What is it called when you get off on people's harm.
Like a sadist.
Yes.
Yeah.
A sadist. Yeah. For some reason, they call her reign the dark period in Russia's history. So weird. So they're dressed as clowns, possibly. They're definitely in a cage, though. We know that. And they're strapped to the back of an elephant parading through town.
And we're sure this happened. This isn't some guy who hated women writing about like making her sound terrible because
if this
she was a female ruler
is made up, then there are so many historians and so many sources writing about a made up story.
Okay, I mean if there's like modern historians writing about it, probably real.
Yeah.
But this is just insane.
Yeah, there's one book. I don't have it, but it's about like the 13 interesting or crazy breakups in history.
Yeah.
There's several books that it's in. I'll reference two of them.
That is so wild.
I know. So after the actual wedding, Anna had special plans. She takes the newlyweds in cages. Apparently, they're stripped naked, and she puts them to bed in the ice bed in the ice palace under the ice sheets. And they're forced to spend the night there.
Under the ice?
Under the ice. They could try and leave, but she had guards waiting outside of the door in case they tried to leave. And by some miracle, they did not get frostbite. They did not die of hypothermia in the night.
It's hard to imagine something worse than being laying naked in ice all night.
I know. Like you would think that the ice, a sheet of ice, it probably is not contoured to the bottom, but it probably
melts.
It probably
on you.
melted, and then you're wet and you're on ice.
Yeah.
They probably got stuck to it.
Oh, you're right. That is horrible.
Just all around terrible. So in the morning, the couple was released. And after that, Anna and her court questioned Prince Mikhail extensively about the, quote, delights of his first wedding night. I'm like, he probably froze his dick off.
Yeah.
Like,
Were they in there
literally
together?
It snapped off. Yeah, they were in there together.
They probably like took turns being like laying on top of each other so you could be off the ice. Yeah.
Fighting over who can be top spoon. The Ice Palace incident is just one window into Anna's personality as her time as the Tsarista. Some see this Ice Palace as Anna literally like controlling the elements and basically saying like, I'm the empress now, bow down to me, I get to rule over all. Some people are unsure. Maybe she was a sadist, pretty crazy. Unfortunately for her, though, she died shortly after constructing the ice palace due to kidney stones. So
died from kidney stones?
She died from
no
kidney
wonder
stones.
she was a bitch. Like that probably hurt like hell.
And her physicians told her that it was just menopause. So I don't think that she was even expecting to die, and it was a long, painful death. Like,
can you imagine though being in the worst pain of your life and your doctors are like, it's okay, it's menopause.
You'll get through it.
Yeah. Does menopause even hurt? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it does.
It makes you like uncomfortable and sweaty.
Yeah.
If you have cramps.
Like
but
lots of
not
emotions.
like kidney stones.
Not like kidney stones.
Yeah.
So she died. The fate of Prince Mikhail and Avodosha is lost to history. Most likely nothing really changed at all. He probably just went back to being the jester, and she probably continued on as a servant.
Jesus.
And that is my tiny little bit of history about ice and sculpting ice.
Wow, bravo.
Thank you. My sources are a section from the book St. Petersburg, Madness, Murder, and Art on the Banks of the Neva by Jonathan Miles. The Time a Russian Empress Built an Ice Palace and Forced Her Jester to Get Married in It by Sarah Dern, and Atlas Obscura. Can you imagine if we read our sources beforehand and I read that one? And be like, the perfect synopsis. And meet Iva Ivanovna, the cruel empress who plunged Russia into a dark age. And lastly, The Origins of Ice Sculpting by the BBC.
Thank you for that learning journey. And we will be right back. I know we already talked about Patreon to you guys, but we forgot to mention one very exciting thing.
Drum roll, please. For Night Classes Field Trip. We went went to the most haunted hotel in America.
Like 2 years ago, and Alec has finally put everything together. We took so much video footage and explained the history of the hotel, explained all the ghosts, showed everything on camera ourselves.
We took you along on an actual ghost tour, somebody who actually is an expert, and we also filled you in ourselves.
Yeah, and we tour guided around this hotel, you guys. It was so embarrassing, but it made for such a good video. It was totally worth it.
It really was. Alec did a phenomenal job editing it, and it is gold, honestly. So if you want gold for little to no cost to you, head over to Patreon.
It is on Patreon now for all our tiers, as is our new Patreon segment that we're going to be doing every week called Extra Credit. As is, we're going to be doing 2 List Bitches this month and 2 Trivias, so you can check those out, as well as our cocktail hour tomorrow. We're doing the most for you guys. We really are.
We will see you tomorrow. Enjoy that content, and we'll also send you stickers and postcards and things because we love you all.
Yeah, join us on Patreon. We have fun there.
It's a party.
We love you the most if you join us there.
All right, back to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
We're back. In the mid-1980s, 2 pizza chains were in an intense competition for business to be the one on top. Pizza Hut and Domino's were going at it head to head. Pizza Hut was primarily a sit-down restaurant where you went in and ate your pizza, while Domino's specialized in pizza delivery under the promise that they would deliver your pizza in 30 minutes or less.
Domino's crust is so good. I'm a Domino's girl.
I am a Pizza Hut. Actually, no, I'm a Domino's girl. They have the better deals, I think.
If anything, I'm going to do Jets or Marco's or Papa John's. Domino's not at the top of the list, but, it is what it is. I have a funny anecdote about Pizza Hut.
Do you want to go for it?
I do. So basically the story is my dad was visiting my great-grandmother in Louisville, Kentucky, and he was like, okay, Mama, what is a really good local place that we can go and eat at that I can't get anywhere else, something special for you to take me to? And she's like, oh, Lance, there's this wonderful place. Their sauce is so good. What's it called? Pizza Hut.
She's not wrong. Sometimes you just want some shitty chain pizza. Sometimes
She's wrong for that. No, there's got to be a good local pizza spot in Louisville, Kentucky.
Definitely. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of great restaurants in Louisville, Kentucky. But sometimes you just want cheesy bread.
She's so pure.
I don't blame her. Many customers at the time preferred to eat their pizza in restaurants, as delivery sometimes wasn't always the best, and you might be afraid your pizza would show up cold or late or damaged, or maybe the delivery driver was smoking a cigarette in the car and it made the pizza nasty. Could be any number of things.
This cancer pizza gave me cancer.
This pizza's giving me a little extra buzz. I wonder what it could be. I've never felt so good after eating pizza.
And that's how the Joule got invented.
Yeah. To combat these fears, Domino's came up with an ad campaign. And that is how the Noid was born. Have you heard of the Noid?
No.
Well, the Noid is a claymation villain, and I have a picture of him on my slide deck. He is basically a man in a red spandex suit with red bunny ears and then a big black N on his chest for Noid. The Noid was named after Domino's employees' nickname for what they called Dominoids, which is anything that could delay a pizza delivery. It's a play on the word annoyed. If you're in traffic, that's a Dominoid. You're annoyed and it's hindering you from doing your job. Will Vinton, who created the Noid, said it was supposed to be the, quote, physical manifestation of all the challenges inherent to getting a pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less. In the Domino's commercials, the Noid would attempt to do things like freeze the pizza, dissect it, pogo stick on the pizza box, but he was always thwarted by the Domino's delivery driver. They always avoided disaster from the Noid. And this sequence was always followed by a voiceover slogan that said, at Domino's Pizza, we avoid the Noid.
I pulled up one of the commercials. Do you want to watch it?
Sure.
Domino's Pizza delivers quality. It takes fresh baked quality to avoid the Noid.
So he's like trying to get to the pizza, but there's an invisible dome around it, keeping him out.
So avoid
He
the
just
Noid.
wants to
Call
eat.
Domino's Pizza
No,
now.
he wants to destroy the pizza, Hayley. He doesn't want to eat it.
I think he's acting. I think he actually just wants to eat it.
She's a Noid
No.
apologist.
I think he's.
Yeah, how dare you defend the Noid? I'm not okay. The Noid campaign was hugely successful and even became part of the pop culture zeitgeist at the time. It was very well known. In 1988, CBS had plans for a morning cartoon series called The Noids, although the series was scrapped before it even aired after criticism that it was just an advertising ploy and not a genuine show for children.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Capitalism didn't have its total grip on society quite yet.
Do we have any cartoons though that are like there's no like Tricks the Bunny cartoon, you know?
Geico did the Caveman sitcom.
Really?
Yeah.
That's for adults though. I feel like that's a little better.
But wouldn't the Noid be for adults?
No, the Noid was going to be for kids. Yeah, but I mean, I do think it's fucked up that they show commercials for like toys and shit during like kids shows. I feel like
I agree.
Like it's wrong, I feel like, to market like that toward children. But what are you going to do? It's
The
capitalism.
hellscape we live in.
It's true. So we avoided that hellscape, but the Noid did get its own computer game in 1989 called Avoid the Noid. And in the game, the player would attempt to deliver a pizza within 30 minutes in an apartment building filled with Noids. And the Noids were armed with things like pizza-seeking missiles and water balloons trying to destroy your pizza. Actually,
I think
sounds
it'd
kind
be
of fun.
more fun to be the Noid to try and get to the pizza that someone's delivering.
Definitely. They should have made it a 2-player game where one person is the Noid and one is the pizza delivery.
Yeah, or the opposite. I don't know. The Noid is trying to get to the Domino's pizza,
The
or to
Noid
the
wants
Pizza
to
Hut pizza?
destroy the Domino's pizza.
Okay, so what if Pizza Hut then, in response to the video game, made one where you could be the Noid?
And attack
And
the Domino's
succeed,
pizza?
yeah.
That would be shady as hell. They should have done it.
And then you get like a $1 coupon for your next Pizza Hut.
Oh my, do you remember when you'd get like a good report card and you'd get like Pizza Hut coupons?
Yes, ours was DQ.
Oh.
Dairy Queen. Oh my God.
That's a good one.
That is the true motivator. It's like, working for a paycheck is not working anymore. I need to work for Dairy Queen coupons.
It's basically a paycheck when you're a kid because the coupon was for like $1 and then you'd like ask your mom to take you and she'd be like, well,
She's
fucking
like,
fine. Like you got A's or whatever. That's how you got this. So I have to take you and then end up spending like $30 to get the whole
Because
family
everyone
ice
else
cream. Yeah.
needs
You
one
can't
too.
just get ice cream for one kid.
It's so expensive paying for just a couple, you know, like me
Yeah.
and Tommy. I can't imagine having kids.
I don't know how our parents did it. No wonder.
Well, times were different.
No wonder we were always told there's food at home. Yeah, there's food at home.
And now we have to tell ourselves that it's impossible.
I can't.
I combat that by buying absolute shit. I'm like, there's food at home. Oh yeah, there's mozzarella sticks.
That's true.
There's mini brownies.
I do my own grocery shopping and therefore I'm excited to eat the food at home.
It makes it easier. It's like, okay, I have a budget for actual groceries and then I have my guilt-free spending, which is just junk food.
That's for junk food. I should have bought mozzarella sticks. We had the mozzarella sticks at Cooper or Young Ave the
Yeah.
other night. Have you ever had them?
No, not there.
That was the best mozzarella stick I've ever
and
had
you're
in
a
my
true
life.
professional.
They
That should
were
be your job.
so fucking good.
What was good about them?
They were giant for one, and they were breaded in, I don't even know what. It felt like they were breaded in like fried chicken breading. Like it was like
Yeah.
thick and crispy, and they were just like monstrous.
They're fried in like a bacon fat and you're experiencing
Probably
meat for the first
they
time.
they were so good. If you're in Memphis, go to Young Ave right now and get the mozzarella sticks.
Well, now I have to go.
They were really good. Alec, were they good?
They were good. I was just laughing that you said earlier in the episode that you eat string cheese for breakfast, and you're like, I had mozzarella sticks for dinner. It's like your whole life
cheese.
is just
A string cheese,
either fried or raw.
Yeah, string cheese is a raw mozzarella stick, and mozzarella sticks are my favorite food. So I'm just living my best life here.
Yeah.
You can't have a mozzarella sticks for breakfast, but you can have raw mozzarella sticks.
Oh my
If you're me.
God. She knows where to draw the line.
The Noid even appeared in Michael Jackson's musical film Moonwalker. Everyone loved the Noid, except for a 22-year-old Georgian man named Kenneth Noid.
Oh no.
And that's Georgia is in
Georgian-
the state,
Okay,
not
it's
the country.
My next question.
Are people from Georgia called Georgians?
I don't
I just
know.
kind of made that
That would
assumption, but then I
thicken
was
the
like,
plot.
that's a country too, so I don't know. He's from Georgia, the state.
What if it was one of those scenarios like in Burt's Bees where he became like a celebrity in Taiwan and then Noid became a celebrity in Georgia, the country?
Yeah, they thought he was the Noid. He like becomes obsessed with cosplaying. He's like always wearing red rabbit ears.
That could have been good for him. He could have capitalized on that.
He tried, and I'll tell you how he tried.
Oh, okay.
On January 30th, 1989, Kenneth entered a Domino's pizza restaurant in Chamblee, Georgia, waving around a .357 Magnum. So a gun.
That's a gun?
That's
Okay.
a gun. And I think I'm hoping I said that right. A .357 Magnum. 357 sounded right. So I went for it.
Yeah, it sounds right to me with the context of knowing that it's a gun. That just tells you how much I know and care and so deeply for guns.
Yeah,
to clarify.
I don't care. If my mom ever listens to this, she's gonna like murder me. But my dad has a lot of guns, and when I was a kid, I knew nothing about them. And my stepmom had a pink one, and it was like a cute pink pistol.
Naturally,
and not
'cause
thinking,
she's a girl.
naturally because she's a girl, I picked it up and tried to do the like, what is it?
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels thing with this real gun. Like I held it up by my face, and my dad just started screaming. It's not loaded because it was like in their like gun cabinet or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just like, I never thought that like it could be anything but a toy.
Right, it's a
I don't
prop.
know. It's a prop for
It's
me
a
to take a
killing
cute
prop.
Instagram photo. I learned real quick that day that you're not supposed to put guns pointed at your face.
Yeah, I've heard that if you don't want to shoot it, don't point it at it.
No, definitely don't. Definitely don't. That was a terrible, and I could have.
I'm
That
really
could have ended
glad
in disaster.
Nothing happened to you.
Me too.
Jeez.
Pink ones aren't. You're not even allowed to make them other colors, right?
No, you
For
can have a
kids?
pink gun.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought they made that illegal.
You can't make them like look like toys. I think for a while they were making guns that like looked like squirt guns, but there are definitely pink guns out there that you can buy.
Gotcha.
Like you can buy like the camo guns and shit.
Right. For ducks and does.
Yeah.
Or bucks and
Bucks
does.
and whatever the fuck. Yeah. Oh my God. So he shouted at the two employees who were working there that day that he required $100,000 and a white limousine getaway car. Meanwhile, he's like waving the gun all around. And while holding them at gunpoint,
Wait, a white limousine getaway car?
yes, that's what he wanted.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard
It's
for a
a-
getaway car.
no one's going to expect your getaway car to be a limousine.
But if they
And the
know,
windows are tinted. The
if
windows are tinted.
they know it's a limousine and it's a white limousine at that, everyone's going to know.
Maybe it's prom night that night
They will
in the town.
literally-
Maybe everyone's in a white limousine.
But he's asking these employees to get it for him?
So he wanted them to call the owner of Domino's and get him $100,000 and a white limousine because... So he explained to them that Tom Moynihan, who is the owner of Domino's at the time, created the Noid character based on him, based on Kenneth Noid, made specifically to mock him and tell everyone to avoid him.
Oh no, he sounds clinically paranoid.
He is. So he felt that after doing all this to him, at the very least, Domino's owed him money for being their inspiration and for essentially wreaking havoc on his life.
Okay, if that were true, $100,000 is not the number.
No, you ask for way more, way more.
Like start at $1 million, but I would go higher.
Yeah, and this is like the late 80s. Like,
Yeah.
this is, I feel like, peak Domino's.
Actually, yeah, maybe 100,000 could get you further.
That's true. Yeah, it is the 19. So 100,000. It's probably more like
Call it
300,000.
200,000,
Yeah. So he told the employees to get Domino's headquarters on the phone so that he could get these demands to them, and they could give him his white limousine and $100,000. One of the employees, Sean Burnstead, called the only Domino's number that he knew would answer, and that was the safety hotline. He explained to the woman on the other end what was happening. He's like, a guy just broke in here. He says his name is Kenneth the Noid, and you guys ripped the Noid character off of him, and he's demanding these things. She thought it was a joke. She starts laughing.
What? Oh, no, that's not the right response. At least don't laugh until you know for sure.
You know
it's a
for sure.
joke.
And maybe she kind of chuckled, like she was confused.
She's uncomfortable,
like,
maybe.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it sounds nuts. You wouldn't
did she take
expect.
Seriously, at least?
Well, Kevin heard her laughing. Kevin Noid did.
No.
And he was like, oh, fuck no. So he fires 2 shots into the ceiling. And she hears the gunshots and realizes, okay, this is real.
Well, that's actually an effective way for her to know through the phone.
It's true.
I guess.
Yeah. She probably would have kept thinking it was a joke longer if he didn't do that. But still, he shouldn't be
That's
terrifying people by
excessive.
firing a gun. So the woman also heard him shouting that he was going to kill Burnstead if the police showed up to the store. So he's like, don't call the fucking cops. Like, I'm going to kill these employees, basically. So then Noid grabbed the phone and hung it up. The line went dead. Domino's corporate offices and the police were called, and soon all 4 phones in the store were ringing off the hook. One of the people calling was a hostage negotiator who talked to Noid and tried to convince him to let the hostages go.
The hostage negotiator's like, you know who you're acting like right now?
For real, what if he just started like destroying all the pizzas in the store? It's like a prophecy.
He starts freezing them all.
Yeah.
And pouring
Just
water
putting them
on
all in
them.
the freezer.
Stamps on the pizza.
Kenneth Noid refused to let the hostages go. And when the police showed up, Noid fired 4 warning shots into the ceiling. Like, don't come any closer, basically. Officers luckily did not shoot back, but they did try desperately to reason with Noid. But Noid was, as I'm sure you could guess, difficult to reason with because he would flip back from making sense to seemingly having no grasp of reality. At one point, he demanded a private plane to come pick him up from the restaurant and take him to Mexico.
Oh, no.
Then he offered to exchange a hostage for a copy of The Widow's Son, which is a sci-fi book about the Freemasons.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, he's on a whole other level if he's trying to like copy and paste people. And also, who's the widow?
Copy of The Widow's Son.
Yeah, I can see how that's confusing. Yeah, he wanted this book, and the police heard that. They're like, "Great, we can get you the book."
Yeah, if you
that's
just
so easy.
Wait him out long enough, he'll have a reasonable request.
Right? Yeah, they're just slowly like lowering his expectations.
Yeah, it goes from limousine to plane to book.
Yeah, easy. So they're like, great, we can get you that book. They brought him the book, and then he's like, no, never mind. I don't want it. I'm not giving you a hostage.
Oh man, dude, you're gonna read so many books in jail.
Right? Yeah, you may as well have the one you really want.
What if that was like a negotiation tactic where you just say "or" and like they say something else, like I want a flight to Mexico, and it's like or a book.
I'd also take a book to read on the plane while I'm on my way to Mexico. He probably just didn't want the book without the plane.
Yeah,
I
it
wouldn't.
has to be a combo deal, and then you have to have the white limousine to pick you up from the airport.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't want to get a fucking rental car.
And you need
Absolutely
spending
not.
money in Mexico. You want to go shopping. You need that $100,000.
$100,000 will suffice for shopping
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Yeah, it's what I always take to Mexico. So meanwhile, everyone at the Domino's headquarters is freaking out. Domino's owner, Tom Moynihan, offered up his private plane to evacuate the hostage employees. He literally was like, can we send my plane there to like pick them up? And people are like, no, that's just as crazy of an idea as freaking Noid's idea of a private plane to Mexico.
He's in on it.
Yeah. It turns out like he and Noid are working together and they just like want an excuse to joyride around in this plane.
All a publicity stunt.
If only. So meanwhile, like they can't do anything, right? Like the plane idea is dumb. They just have to kind of sit there and wait. And in the store, Sean Burnstead is attempting to calm Noid down by pretending to sympathize with him. Like, I'm so sorry they did this to you. Like, let me know what I can do to help you. Da-da-da-da-da.
Hey, man, you want to go burn some pizzas?
Well, kind of, because I guess this did make Noid feel a little more comfortable, and he felt okay asking Sean to make him a pizza.
Oh.
He requested the extravaganza pizza, which I Googled, and it has pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, beef, fresh onions, green peppers, mushrooms, and black olives.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot of shit on it.
That's a lot of meat.
I know, a lot of meat. Who gets beef on a pizza?
Not I.
Not
and
I.
I eat meat, to clarify.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone get, like, is it ground beef that they just put on the pizza?
I have no clue. That's
so
a lot
weird.
of meat. It's like so much cheese, so much
Well,
meat.
Noid even asked for extra mozzarella. So he was probably pretty hungry.
Oh my goodness.
The Sean guy's like, what do you want? He's like, the extravaganza. He's like, God, you fucking Noid. So much work.
Yeah, now I have to get the like fresh onions out of the fridge, the mushrooms that no one ever wants.
If anything, you should make your own. But not make your own, have the guy make it, but custom, right?
Right. And he should make his imagine like you just have free range of a Domino's pizza. Don't you want to make your pizza?
Oh, I would fuck it up in there. I would
so
make some
fun.
like Alfredo sauce for
Oh
the
my God,
pizza. I'm like,
yum.
you obviously have butter, the butter garlicky sauce. You have cheese. Like, let's make an Alfredo sauce.
I think they have an Alfredo sauce, and you can make it better by like adding garlic and
More
shit
garlic,
to it, more cheese.
always more garlic.
Yeah. So it would be so fun. I would love I would hold up a Domino's pizza at gunpoint just to be allowed to fuck around in the kitchen. Keep me away from Domino's. I'm dangerous.
You literally
I'm not
have
armed though.
money that you can go buy it with. Let's
That's
not
true.
get
But
into
I want to make the pizza. One report claimed he also asked for a salad. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds true. Sean made the pizza for him, but Noid wouldn't let him cut it, probably afraid he'd use the pizza cutter as a weapon. And after he'd had his pizza, Noid agreed to let an officer talk to him. He's like, I'm no longer hangry. We can talk. He had Sean go open the door and still held at gunpoint, but seeing an opportunity, Sean made a break for it when he opened the door for the police
my
officer.
God.
This is a quote from him. Quote, he was probably 8 feet from me. He could have shot me for sure. I just finally grabbed the door, opened it up, and ran out.
That must have been the most terrifying moment of his life.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No, I can't. That's pure instinct, pure adrenaline.
Yeah. You just like open it and then dive
Yeah, that's
out that
the
door.
base of your brain making that decision.
Yeah, that's the lizard brain for
wow,
sure.
he really stepped up. I feel like we talk about this all the time. Fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
And I think he
I
was
would've
only like
passed out.
21. Like he was a young guy too. And he just, he knew what to do. The other employee also ran out the door when Noid had his back turned. Some of the things I read said he followed Sean out. Some say like I don't know. I think Noid may have like turned around really quick and then he like got out the door. I don't fully understand. The whole ordeal lasted 5 hours before Noid ultimately surrendered. So both his hostages got away and that's when he was like kind of fucked. They were able to apprehend him alive. Nobody died in these events, which is amazing.
Extravaganza.
Right, the extravaganza. Kenneth Noid was charged with kidnapping, aggravated assault, and theft by extortion. Noid clearly was not in the right mind, though, when he committed his crimes. I couldn't find an official diagnosis, but the Chambly police chief described him as paranoid. And I think he said it like he was making a pun, paranoid.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think he got some flack from that. That's pretty insensitive.
Yeah.
Interrogations revealed that Noid believed Tom Moynihan, Domino's pizza owner, had been communicating with him in his mind and breaking into his apartment. So he definitely was not living in reality. He had some serious delusions that caused him to do this. And because of that, ultimately a judge ruled Noid not guilty by reason of insanity.
What were the consequences?
Well, he did receive psychiatric care in Georgia's Mental Health Institute. So I think he had to do some time there. But despite everything, Domino's continued to produce Noid commercials, and Kenneth never got better. He continued to think these commercials were about him.
Oh.
And tragically, in 1995, he died by suicide in his Florida apartment.
Oh my God, that is tragic. Obviously,
Yeah.
he didn't make the right decision, but that is not...
No, he needed more help than he
needed
got.
more help.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And it's not on the company either to stop making those commercials, but it's
not
just
their
shitty
fault
all around.
Yeah. And you'd almost think like it was terrible PR. Like, I don't know. You'd think that they would. They did stop making them, at least for the most part, after Kenneth died. They stopped making them, but the Noid still comes around every now and then for special appearances. They also claim that Kenneth is not the reason the character was pulled. They just like changed up their advertising style. Yeah, it definitely should have been. Like maybe not after the whole hostage situation, but definitely after he died by suicide.
Yeah, that's a direct link to what led to his death.
And again, like I'm not saying Domino's is responsible for this because that's not on them necessarily.
Not at all,
but it's still just a tragic situation that I don't see why you would want to like keep like hammering that like in. I don't know. It just seems excessive to me. The Noid's most recent appearance was in a 2021 Domino's commercial, and also he appeared as a boss in Crash Bandicoot on the Run. So he's still kind of present
around,
in the pop
but it's
culture.
nostalgic for a lot of people too.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the commercials were a really big deal when they were airing. I can see doing like little revival tours of it, but I don't know. That's just nuts. And I hope that now Kenneth Noid is resting peacefully. It's just a really tragic story.
Thanks.
Can I add something? I don't know if you mentioned it, but that Domino's employees internally were called Dominoids, and that's where they got the name from, the PR company. So
I think that Domino's employees called things that like delayed them from delivering pizzas Dominoids. Like it was annoying. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I had just read something that's where like the PR team was like, oh, that's a cool word. They had gotten it from people saying dominoids.
The way I interpreted it is that they got dominoids from employees who were using that word to describe annoyances while working at Domino's. Because also some articles would say that dominoid is like a pun of the word annoyed.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I think we're on the same page that a PR company realized that's a great word, but they got it from the internal.
Yeah, they got it from the employees. Yeah, and maybe are you saying that the employees called themselves dominoids?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not how I interpreted the article, but
I'll look it up
you definitely
while we keep
could be
going.
right.
I'm just sitting here like when you put the emoji of the eye mouth and then the next eye where it's like, what?
Yeah. No, I get it. But anyway, so this lesson was pretty short. So I want to end with just a couple other strange advertising campaigns.
Oh, cool.
And Alec, I am going to need your help to pull up the slide. So the first one in the 1980s, Colgate, as in the toothpaste brand, attempted to market a line of frozen food like spaghetti and beef lasagna.
Oh my God, I was so scared. I saw the beef lasagna and I saw Colgate and I thought that it was beef lasagna toothpaste.
Oh God.
I think I had a heart attack.
But I think that's kind of like what people took it as. Like it's so disgusting to think of your toothpaste company making beef lasagna.
Right. And isn't Colgate owned by like Johnson & Johnson? Why not just create a separate food company?
Yeah, I don't know. You would think. And also, like, that beef lasagna has like ricotta cheese in it or something. And when I first saw this picture, I thought the lasagna had toothpaste in it. I think it was just like pretty disgusting, like imagery all around. So it was a major failure, obviously. And Colgate has since tried to scrub all evidence of them ever doing this from the internet, but people still remember, thankfully.
Scrub, wink,
Scrub,
wink.
Brush. In 2016, Nivea, the lotion brand, put out an ad for children's sunscreen. And in this ad, a drone, Alec, you can go to the next slide, that looked like a seagull flew around the beach and pooped sunscreen on children to keep them safe.
I like it.
I know. I like it too. It was
think that's
actually like
awesome.
a really successful ad because it was so weird. And they used a real working seagull drone for the footage. It was not computer generated.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I thought this was going like a Nemo route.
It does look like the seagulls from Nemo.
Yeah, those
For
are
sure.
seagulls though, right? It has, I'm thinking of like the pelican. Yeah.
The mine. Aren't those?
Those are seagulls.
Yes, those
Those
are
are
seagulls.
seagulls.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a seagull.
That's a seagull. I was thinking of the other guy.
Oh,
It has similar coloring,
the one who
right?
like carries Nemo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's both.
There's they have all kinds
can
of
all
birds
win.
in Finding Nemo.
Real quick, I found it, and you're right that it says, so the advertising executives created a bad guy named after Domino's employees. The Domino's employees' nickname of Dominoids were people who would try to thwart the company's attempts to fill each order in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I know that's what you said. I was just trying to express that there's a reason it's called Noids that's not Kenneth Noid.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
explained that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, I did my research. Sorry.
Somebody needs to eat.
Yeah,
She's
God.
hangry.
No, I'm not hangry. Honestly, Alec, you just gave me a heart attack that I looked like I always hate to get stuff wrong in my research. It like really embarrasses me. So I'm just really relieved
No,
right now.
I wasn't trying to have a gotcha moment.
No,
I just
I
meant
know. I know you
didn't
wouldn't do
say
that on
why
purpose.
they made it annoyed.
I
right?
did say that.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
she did.
okay.
Yeah, you just weren't listening.
My bad.
Cat goes home and is like really mean to the cats because she's
I,
like,
like,
you're trying to
kick 'em.
steal my name.
No. That's terrible. So let's see. And finally, in 2018, Alec, you can go to the next slide. IKEA sent coupons for 50% off a crib to members of their family club program. The only stipulation is you had to be pregnant to use the coupon. So how do they know you were pregnant? Well, built into the coupon was a pee strip pregnancy test.
What the
And when you
fuck?
peed on it, if you were pregnant, it revealed the discount crib price. Which I love. I get that not everyone who is welcoming a child into the world is pregnant with it.
Yeah.
So that could be problematic, but I do think it's hilarious to put a pregnancy test on your coupon.
It's funny and it's wrong. Sometimes that is the intersection.
Sometimes they overlap. But yeah, so that is my lesson on Kenneth Noid and the Domino's Noid.
Fascinating.
And all the things in between.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. My sources are Domino's is bringing back the Noid, a mascot that once drove a man to take hostages by Marissa Lottie on WashingtonPost.com. The Tragic End of the Domino's Noid by Matt Blitz on foodandwine.com. The Noid Wikipedia page, the Noid page on villains.fandom.com. The weirdest ad campaigns ranked by Craig Donofrio on workandmoney.com, and weird and controversial marketing campaigns by Stuart Russell Moya on ecstasy.com. That's that.
Nailed it. So many sources I zoned out there.
Sorry, I think there was only 5.
Well, that's a lot.
6. There are 6, including the Wikipedia page,
That's
which
one
I don't even
more
have to
than a
say
lot.
anymore. That's always on
Yeah,
there. You
that's
guys
a
know
given.
that. All right. Well, we are about to record our extra credit. So if you want to keep listening, you can pop on over to Patreon and join us at any tier. Goodbye.
See you there.
3, 2, 1. Class dismissed.